What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Qasim, and today I'm finally taking a look at the 2020 16-inch MacBook Pro. So a little bit over a month ago, I unboxed this MacBook, and I just wanted to have a little bit of time with it. This is actually the first time I've bought a 16-inch model. Traditionally, I've stuck with a 13-inch model just because I've kind of been shy of having such a big laptop. So this is my first time, and now that I've really had a little bit of time with this computer, I can finally give you guys my review. Let's start off with the design. So it's very simple. This laptop is huge yet compact. You've got 4 USB-C ports, 2 on each side. We're going to be talking about these a little bit more later. And hey, you've even got a headphone jack. This seriously was surprising. Next, I want to talk about something that people really dislike about the MacBook Pro, and that's the touch bar. Now, I previously had a 2013 MacBook Pro which didn't have a touch bar, and for some reason, people just don't like this. The touch bar replaces all your physical keys, such as the volume controls, the function keys, and whatnot. And what it does is that as you browse through different apps on your laptop, the controls change. So if you're in Safari, for example, you'll be able to change your tabs. You'll be able to adjust volume controls, brightness controls. Everything is done through the touch bar. But what I don't understand is that Apple gives you the ability to customize the touch bar to your liking. So you can actually go into settings and permanently have the function keys available for you to use. You can also adjust which keys you want laid out wherever on the touch bar. So because of this, I really don't know why people complain about this, but I really like the touch bar. To the left of the touch bar, you've got the escape key. So this is very nice. You've got a dedicated key to escape out of games, applications, whatever you're doing. So this is really nice. To the right of the touch bar, you've got Touch ID. Now, I really love this. I've got it on my iPhone SE, and you can just use your fingerprint to log in. You can use it to authenticate passwords when you're logging into different websites, and you can even use it for purchases on Apple Pay. Next, let's talk about the keyboard. In 2015, Apple added the butterfly keyboard to all of its MacBook Pros. So they got a lot of heat for this because those keyboards had so many issues. The keys were always getting stuck. The keys weren't registering properly. So when you went to press a letter like K or something, it would register twice. Now, luckily for me, I had a 2013 MacBook Pro before this, and that had a perfectly fine keyboard. So I kind of missed out on all these years where they had troublesome keyboards. So I really love the Magic Keyboard that they've added into this MacBook Pro. I really don't know what it is about these keyboards. The Magic Keyboard just feels so nice to type on. And what I love is that you have so much space on this laptop, all this extra space down here, that when you're resting your arms and you're typing for long periods of time, you're not going to get tired. I had this issue on my previous 2013 and the smaller 13-inch models because you just don't have that much space to rest your arms. But typing on this thing for long periods of time, I just don't get tired. It's so satisfying to type on this keyboard. The only other keyboard that I really love is the Logitech K780 keyboard, and I've actually done a review here on my channel, so check that out if you guys want. I really love the feel of that keyboard. It feels like a MacBook keyboard. Next, I want to talk about the trackpad, which I really love, simply because I haven't had a bigger 16-inch model, and because of this, you get such a bigger trackpad. So when I'm editing my videos, you really need to be precise and zoom in, zoom out to really get into the details of editing. So for that, I don't have to repeatedly lift my fingers and reset. I can just do one pinch in, one pinch out to get to a precise location that I need to get to. Now, I know that this could just be me or my personal issue, but I really love having a larger trackpad. It's really nice. And what's cool is that when you're typing, it knows that when your wrist is on the trackpad. So it's not going to register that as a mouse move. All right, now onto the speakers. Now, this is something I was really impressed with on this laptop. The first time I heard these speakers, I couldn't even believe that it was coming from a laptop. So I'm going to play music for you guys so that you can have a listen. Now know that I'm the same distance from the MacBook as the mic is from the MacBook as well. So hopefully you guys will be able to get a really nice idea of what this sounds like. So I'm going to start it off at low volume and then I'll increase it throughout. So this is the sound of the speakers at about 50% volume. And now I'm going to raise the volume. This is full volume. Now here's another track. This is so awesome. Alright, so hopefully you guys were able to get a nice sound test of what the speakers sound like. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure that this recording is not going to do justice. So if you can, go to an Apple store and hear this thing in person, because the speakers on this laptop are insanely good. I really, really love them. Alright, now we're going to move on to the camera and microphone. So I'm going to play a video for you guys that I recorded using the camera on this MacBook Pro, and the audio is going to be coming from the microphone. So check it out. Alright, so this is what it's going to sound and look like if you're using the front camera. Now it is only a 720p camera, which kind of sucks. Like, it is 2020. My phone's front-facing camera does 1080p, so I don't know why they couldn't throw a bigger camera in this thing, but hey, it is what it is. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of what it's going to sound like and what it's going to look like. So you should be fine for things like Zoom meetings or anything like that. Alright, let's move on to the screen of this MacBook Pro. Apple does a great job with their Retina displays, and this MacBook is no exception. Seriously, this screen is beautiful. At 500 nits of brightness, I can use it outdoors. I use this in the backyard all the time, and I have no trouble viewing anything. This screen is beautiful. I really love it. Now with my 2013 MacBook Pro, I used to use this display right here. This is a Samsung CRG25 27-inch curved monitor. So because that MacBook was so much smaller than this one, I used to use this display a lot when I was doing video editing. But with this one, I've noticed that the screen is so great and I really love the size that I use this everywhere, from the bedroom to the backyard. I really have been using this a lot more and not relying on this screen as much. Alright, next let's talk about the battery life. Now, I really don't like talking about battery life because I really believe that this is a person-to-person thing. But regardless, if you're just using this for watching videos, sending emails, messaging, whatever, like basic everyday tasks, you're gonna easily be able to get a day out of this. But when you get into things like video editing, the fans start kicking and this thing drains battery. It really consumes a lot of battery. So if you're going to be doing video editing and stuff, then you definitely need to bring a charger along. Next, I want to talk about my only gripe with this MacBook Pro so far, and that's the fact that I have to use a dongle for any type of connection. So even when I'm connecting my phone, I've got to use the USB-C to USB-A dongle, and I really wish this had at least one USB port. And I know this is just wishful thinking because I don't really think that Apple at any time is going to be including any kind of USB ports. What would have also been nice is an SD card slot. A lot of people, I don't use a camera, but a lot of people use cameras and they want to be able to just put in an SD card, transfer files over easily, and just be able to access them and not have to worry about having an attachment for each thing that they want to connect. Now, I know there are hubs available on Amazon and ones that you can get from Apple that allow you to connect multiple USB devices and connect an SD card, but still, it would have been nice to at least have the option to do so. But I know that this is wishful thinking, like I said before, so it is what it is. Next, I want to talk about the performance of this MacBook Pro. Now, I'm no professional at video editing. Everything I've learned has been from right here on YouTube. This MacBook handles everything with a breeze. I did upgrade the RAM to 64 gigabytes and the graphics card RAM to 8 gigabytes when purchasing this MacBook. I use Final Cut Pro X for video editing, and it just handles everything flawlessly. Editing my videos was the main purpose of purchasing this MacBook Pro. My 2013 MacBook Pro just didn't have the computing power I needed to be able to edit with Final Cut. This brings me to the issue of price. Now, a lot of people consider these to be overpriced, and to some extent they're not wrong, because doing certain upgrades through Apple cost a lot more than they would elsewhere. But what you really have to think about is the fact that most people that buy MacBooks, they don't buy them every single year. So when I bought this computer, I'm not going to be buying a 2021 MacBook Pro. I'm good for years to come. And how pleased I've been with this purchase, I know I'll be good for years to come. My 2013 MacBook Pro was perfectly fine. I was even able to edit 18 of my YouTube videos using iMovie on that. Browsing was perfectly fine. Watching movies on that computer was perfectly fine. But I knew that going forward with the things that I wanted to do, especially with my YouTube channel, I knew that I'd need something more powerful. And that's why I got this computer. And I know that I'm going to be good for years to come. So that's why I urge you that if you are going out to buy a computer, consider it as an investment. Consider it as something that you're going to be buying to use for years and years to come. So if you look at it from that angle, then this is a great purchase. I honestly was skeptical when buying this MacBook, but to be honest with you, after using this, from the display to the speakers to the performance of this laptop, it's awesome. I would highly recommend that you do your research and see if the 16-inch MacBook Pro is right for you. Because, like I said before, this is an investment that you're going to make for years to come. So you want to make sure that this is going to suit your computing needs. I'm really happy with the MacBook Pro 16-inch, and honestly, if you guys go out and buy one of these, I'm pretty sure you won't regret it. That's all for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that my review, my insight about the MacBook Pro is helpful to you in making your decision. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've got any questions or anything that you'd like to say. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next video.